Thanks for clicking. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this one.
The new VP. Jason Mercer had been working at the tech company for over 8 years. He wasn't flashy, just steady, reliable, and quietly brilliant. As the lead systems engineer, he'd seen the company grow from a shaky startup with duct-taped servers and spaghetti code to a smooth-running operation with enterprise-level infrastructure. Most of that transformation had his fingerprints on it. Jason wasn't the loudest guy in the room, but he knew the system inside and out. Every patch, every line of legacy code, every firewall rule. He and his team had built a solid, secure, and highly stable environment. Uptime? 99.999%. Security incidents? Near zero. System crashes? Practically ancient history. But all of that didn't matter the day the company was acquired by a larger conglomerate. New blood was brought in. Processes changed. Departments got streamlined. And worst of all, a new executive parachuted in to disrupt everything. His name was Evan Carter, the freshly minted VP of Infrastructure. 32 years old, wearing polished shoes and a permanent smirk. Evan wasn't interested in how things worked. He was here to make his mark. And he decided that the current infrastructure, Jason's infrastructure, was outdated. In his first company-wide meeting, Evan strutted into the conference room, flashed a PowerPoint deck full of buzzwords, and dropped the bombshell. We're moving to a modern cloud-based platform. Full migration. 60 days. No exceptions. There were confused looks around the room. Jason raised a calm hand. That platform has known compatibility issues with our encryption protocols. And migrating everything in 60 days, it's risky. We'll need at least 180 to do this safely. Evan didn't even blink. You're thinking like an old-timer, Jason. This is a new era. We're not asking. We're moving. Jason gave a polite nod. Understood. 2. No exceptions. Back at his desk, Jason stared at the directive email. Full system migration. Cloud-native platform. Eliminate legacy code. Zero redundancy. Deadline, 60 days. He leaned back in his chair, sighed, and called in his team. I want you to listen very carefully, he said. We are going to follow these orders to the letter. No fixes. No safety nets. No optimization. There was silence. Wait, you're serious? Said Priya, one of his senior engineers. This platform isn't designed to handle our HR or compliance modules. We're gonna break everything. Jason nodded. Exactly. And we'll document everything. Every single warning, every suggestion we make, and every reply we get from Evan. Malicious compliance, muttered another engineer. Jason smirked. No. Just following orders. And so they began. They migrated mission-critical systems onto the new cloud platform, even though they knew those systems were tuned for bare metal performance and didn't scale the same way. They flagged risks around encryption, firewalls, failover handling, and performance drops. Every concern was emailed. Every reply from Evan was logged. Each time the team suggested using fallback backups or hybrid migration strategies, Evan shot them down. Too slow. Too cautious. Stick to the plan. So they did. 3. The cracks begin. By week 5, things were already looking fragile. The HR database, once lightning fast, now choked under cloud latency. Medical records were being flagged for compliance gaps. Automated scripts started failing silently in the background, most of them tied to legacy features no longer supported by the new environment. Jason forwarded every error, every glitch, every flagged security risk. Evan kept replying with his trademark phrase, "Make it work." In week 7, Evan proudly announced in an all-hands that the migration was nearly complete, and praised himself for pushing the team to move faster than any other division. Jason and his engineers just nodded. Behind the scenes, they were preparing for impact. For day 60, the collapse. At 8:59 a.m. on day 60, everything seemed fine. At 9:02, the first alert came in. The internal login system failed to authenticate a batch of employee accounts. Then the HR portal crashed. A few minutes later, the intranet started timing out. Payroll queries began corrupting mid-process. By 9:15, everything was on fire. Customer-facing systems started throwing 502 errors. Ticketing software was down. Internal comms slowed to a crawl. Even remote VPN access became unstable. The company's infrastructure was failing, piece by piece. The kicker? At 9:38 a.m., the security team flagged an attempted breach. Someone had started scraping unencrypted employee data. One of the exact risks Jason had warned about. The only reason they caught it was because one junior analyst thought it looked suspicious and raised the alarm manually. The company's CEO called an emergency all-hands that afternoon. Everyone filed in, frazzled, panicked, exhausted. Jason was invited to present. He walked to the front of the room calmly, connected his laptop, and brought up a document on the big screen. Warnings and risks of rapid migration to cloud platform. Summary report. It was dated 6 weeks prior. Page by page he walked them through everything. The projected failure points, the ignored warnings, the outright dismissals from Evan. Then he opened his inbox. Email after email showing the team's documented concerns. Evan's replies were crystal clear: proceed anyway. Make it happen. Stick to the plan. The room was silent. Except for the CEO, who finally turned toward Evan. This all happened because you didn't listen? Evan sputtered. I thought they were being overly cautious. We needed to move fast. Jason closed his laptop. We followed every instruction. We didn't add safeguards you told us to skip. We didn't slow down like you told us not to. We complied. Exactly. 5. The aftermath. The company went into crisis mode. An emergency task force was assembled to roll back some systems, patch the worst vulnerabilities, and recover corrupted data. Jason's team, despite being right all along, stayed late every night to fix the mess. 3 days later, a company-wide email was sent out. Effective immediately, Jason Mercer is promoted to Senior Director of Infrastructure. All future migrations and system architecture decisions will report through him. We thank VP Carter for his time with the company and wish him the best in his future endeavors. Evan's office was cleared out before lunch. Jason didn't gloat. Didn't brag. He just sat back down with his team and got back to work. 6. Epilogue. Experience isn't flashy. A few weeks later, during a quiet afternoon, Jason was approached by someone from legal. They held up the migration risk document. This was incredibly detailed. Did you really write this before the migration was approved? Jason looked up. Yes. You predicted the failure points exactly. I've been doing this a long time. The lawyer gave him a curious smile. Was this a strategy? Jason shrugged. I just followed the plan I was given. Exactly as I was told. And with that, he returned to his terminal, quietly updating firewall rules and documenting best practices for future engineers, just in case someone forgot again. The end.
But what do you think? Have you ever been in a situation where doing exactly what you were told ended up exposing a bad decision? Would you have done what Jason did? Or would you have tried to protect the company anyway, even if it meant defying leadership? And what would you do if someone like Evan came into your workplace and ignored all the advice from experienced staff? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your own stories of malicious compliance, or maybe even a time when you were the one giving the questionable orders. If you enjoyed the story, make sure to like and subscribe, and share it with someone who loves a good tale of poetic justice. Until the next one, thanks for watching.